What's up guys, I'm James and welcome to BootWizard Boot Reviews, and today is boot battle day, but it's not just any boot battle, it is a historic boot battle. It's a triple header, the first time we've ever had a triple threat boot battle, and it's going to be the Predator 20 Plus going up against the Tekela V3 Pro, going up against the Phantom Vision Elite. So we've got Laceless and Scary Ghost Laces all going up against each other. This is the top control boot from each of these brands. So we're going to put them together, see what they've done that's different, because these boots in some areas are nothing alike despite being in the same category, and try and work out which one is worth your money, which one you should go and pick up at the end of the day, because none of these are cheap. If you do want to pick up any of these, you can do so by clicking the link in the top comment down below. And as always, like the video and get subscribed for all of my future content. Let's get into it. Now there is full reviews of all of these boots up on my channel already if you want to check those out, but I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible, comparing each boot to each other. Starting with the Predator 20 Plus, so this is a one-piece prime knit upper with of course the demon skin that runs around the boot. That is the key selling point here. We get the Phantom Vision, which is a full fly knit upper with the quad fit mesh on the inside, which is the biggest thing for me, and then this has a textured, micro textured upper, and then we get the Tekela, also laceless, also knitted, also one piece, and this has the kinetic stitch that runs through the boot instead of micro texturing or demon skin. So they all have very similar characteristics, but they all deliver a very different touch and feel on the ball. So what you're after could really be defined by this round. Going back down the line, starting with the Tekela, you get this hypo knit upper with this kinetic stitch technology that's been built into it. Now, this is where I have a problem with the Tekela, and it's that this upper is simply too stiff. The kinetic stitch has done a really good job of giving you great lockdown and responsiveness in the boot, and it doesn't affect the touch too negatively either. It's not exactly plush and comfortable like you've got from the previous generations, but it certainly does give you a punchy sensation, and it's quite nice to strike the ball. This striking zone through the front of the boot as well, also very positive. It gives you a nice feedback effect, and it's basically a target for when you are striking the ball. And I have no problems with any of that. It's simply the stiffness of the upper, which does not soften up significantly or enough for me over time, that really drags this down. It's of course laceless, so you do get that cleaner striking surface, but honestly, lace is laceless. It doesn't make a huge difference to me when I'm striking a ball. It has the asymmetrical collar here. Now that is nice and soft, doesn't get in the way, it's comfortable enough. The asymmetrical thing doesn't really bother me in a positive or negative way either. There's a couple of other elements on the internal of the boot that affect the fit, but we'll discuss that in the fit and comfort round a little bit later on. So from one extreme to the other in terms of softness, we're going to take the Phantom Vision Elite, so the Phantom Vision 2 Elite. This is far softer. This fly knit outer shell and the inner construction of the quad fit does such a good job of softening this boot up, genuinely making it sock-like. It's not quite as soft and pliable and sock-like as the Vision 1 because of these increased areas of contact. So you've got thicker Nike skin here, and that micro texturing has been moved. But the micro texturing I actually really like. I think it gives great additional texture and benefit on the ball without being too crazy. But overall, in terms of how this upper is softness-wise, there's no competition, and it's much better than the Tekela. It's also a bit closer to the ball, and the feeling is a little bit more barefoot than you're going to get from the New Balance boot. You still get that clean striking surface if that's what you're looking for with that Ghost Lace system cover, and then the lockdown, the responsiveness, both fantastic because of that quad fit mesh and the way that works. Again, on the inside there, similarly to the New Balance boot, we will discuss that in more detail in the fit and comfort round. but straightforward head to head, one boot to the other. The texture on this is grippier, it's more sandpaper-like, it's less smooth, and the upper is far more flexible and far better on my feet, and I prefer this closer touch on the ball that you get here without having any of the stiffness and rigidity you get from the New Balance. In upper terms, there's no real competition here. The Vision absolutely takes it over the Tekela. Then we have to bring in kind of the anomaly of the group, because this is just so different. It still follows a similar construction, that 100% prime knit one-piece upper with a laceless system. It just has the demon skin, which makes the touch and the feel so much different to these two. Even though they have texture, this has this rubberized striking element that has more of an impact than either of these would ever have. Whether you like that or not is entirely down to your personal preference. It's very aggressive on this 20 plus, but it certainly works. The upper is certainly stiffer than that of the Phantom Vision, however, nowhere near as stiff as you're going to get on the Tekela, so that is a fairly nice middle ground, and it probably gives the best lockdown that the Predator's ever had, but the lockdown and responsiveness is not as good as you get on the Tekela or on the Phantom Vision. My personal favorite of the three is an easy pick, and I really enjoy the Vision 2 here. It's just softer, it's more pliable, my touch and my feel is closer to the ball, and I think that's what I want from a control boot. However, we can't discount the fact that the Predator offers something completely different. So while it's not as soft, it's not as pliable, and that touch on the ball isn't quite as close, that texture element or the grip element to a boot, which seems to be synonymous with a control boot at the moment, is certainly there and the most effective, whether you like it or not, with the Predator. The lockdown and responsiveness, again, better on the Vision. And you'll notice I haven't really given any points to the New Balance here. Fair enough, the lockdown responsiveness on this is better than this, and it's certainly more stable. However, the stiffness of the upper just puts this right out of the running for this round, in my opinion. Despite the positive things it has, the stiffness kind of ruins it. So this is the bottom of the pile for me here. So this is only going to get 8 points. Then moving on, I've got a decision to make. So I've got these two boots, and as I say, my preference and easily picking up my 10 points is going to be the Phantom Vision 2. However, the question is, does the Predator get 9 points, or does it also pick up those 10 points because of this demon skin and its effectiveness? Next up, we're going to talk traction, and again, each boot does the same thing but in a slightly different way. So we'll start with the Nike, and this has the conical low profile studs, a nice bladed push-off area, bladed studs in the heel, and a reasonable amount of spring back, and it's a fairly flexible sole plate as a whole, which isn't a bad thing for a control boot for all of those different lateral movements that it's designed to be able to make. The Predator is certainly more aggressive. It has less studs, but they are a little bit lower profile, and the sole plate as a whole is definitely stiffer through the midfoot and heel. That's a matter of preference, whether you want the flexibility or the stiffness, but it does certainly have a much more responsive spring back in this sole plate area. The New Balance, on the other hand, this is probably my favorite thing about the New Balance boot, is this sole plate they've carried over from the V2. Has a very similar pattern to the Predator. It's not quite as stiff, even though it does still offer great stability, and it's not quite as springy or responsive as the Predator either. But again, I don't really have any complaints here. It's still a very good outsole. A lot of this is going to be preference. The Vision is the most flexible. The Predator is probably the most aggressive, which leaves the New Balance somewhere in the middle, but still performing really, really well. I think in this instance, I'm going to give the 10 points to the Predator because of that new design and the way that it's worked. It does take a little getting used to fit-wise, but again, that's another round. But I think I'm going to give it to the Predator here, and then I'm going to give, so that's 10 points, and then I'm going to give 9 points each to the Vision and the New Balance, because they don't necessarily do anything wrong, but I think the Predator has kind of edged this one just a little bit. Okay, value for money. All of these boots are very expensive. The Predator, 280 euros, the Vision, 270 euros, and the Tekela, 240 euros. Now, these two are 10 euros apart and crazy expensive. This is 40 euros cheaper, but I do have those issues with the upper, so is it better value for money considering I think that you're actually getting a bit less or a slightly worse product in that area? It's not just about what's cheapest, it's about what's genuinely giving you good value for money. And honestly, I think in this category, I'm just going to cop out. These are the most expensive boots from any of their brands, and they're just too expensive in my opinion. So my options are 8 points, 9 points, and 10 points, and I'm just going to go ahead and give all three boots 8 points because they're all expensive, they're all overpriced within their brands and within the market as a whole, in my opinion. I'm pretty hard on pricing because I think boots are overpriced. So yeah, it's 8 points all around on value for money because I don't think any of them offer great value at full price, and I wouldn't be picking up any of them unless they were on sale. Okay, looks, completely subjective and totally up to you individually, but I'm going to try and break it down anyway. The Predator I actually quite like. It's completely nuts, it's insane, but I like they've done something different. This colorway particularly I think looks fantastic. The demon skin looks great. That high cut collar I think also looks good. The sole plate, fantastic. I think that this is a very good looking football boot. The Tekela seems to have got a very good critical response. People generally seem to like it from my original video. Personally, I'm not a huge fan. I like that they've done something a bit different, and I quite like this colored strike zone through the front. The big N up the side, I'm not sure about it, especially because it runs up through the middle there. It's not a bad looking boot, but it's also not a boot that I really like the look of. The asymmetrical collar I think is a bit weird as well. The sole plate, however, fantastic. I love this laser etched design and I think it looks great. And the Vision, I still think isn't a great looking football boot. This particular colorway I think looks fantastic, but it's not my favorite. It's probably the weakest in like Nike's lineup in terms of looks. Fit and comfort, a really important category here, and we're going to start with the New Balance. Now, the stiffness of the upper does affect the comfort of the boot, and it is a bit disappointing compared to what we've had before with that softer feeling upper. There's foam been removed here, so it's not as plush as we've had previously from the Tekela V2. And overall, it's just not a boot that I would describe as comfortable. It's not particularly uncomfortable, but it's certainly not comfortable. It's very hard to get on. The lockdown is very good, especially for a laceless boot. I can't stress that enough. For a laceless boot, it's actually pretty good. And it is very stable, but comfort-wise isn't great. Fit is fine. If you have a wide foot, I don't recommend it. And it does run ever so slightly long, but on the whole, I don't have an issue here with the fit per se. That stiff upper really harms this boot though. In terms of the Predator, I go down half a size here, and it is a bit too tight through the midfoot with a bit too much room in the forefoot if I don't go down that half a size, and it fits better when I do, even if it is still a little bit off. So the fit definitely gets criticized a little bit there. Comfort-wise, I have a few issues with the sole plate and the way that the anatomical design kind of sucks up into your heel. So also not the most comfortable boot here either, and this takes some time to break in for me. And then finally, without question, The winner of this round is the Phantom Vision. This is one of the most comfortable boots on the market. It's going to be great if you've got a wide foot. It does run ever so slightly long, about a quarter of a size, but not enough to go down. And honestly, for fit and comfort is the only real criticism I have. The way that the quad fit mesh wraps around your foot and provides you with lockdown stability and a custom feel is just fantastic. It's very hard to criticize how these feel on feet, as opposed to that seatbelt style system that's used on the Tekela, which just isn't customizable, and it's just how you get the boot. It's the same with the Predator. If your foot doesn't fit the boot because it doesn't have laces, then you're not getting a great fit out of it. So easy choice for me for the winner. It's going to be 10 points here. And then in second place, honestly, I'm going to give both of them, I'm torn now. I don't know whether to give both of them 9 or both of them 8, because I think it's an issue with both boots. I'm going to give both of them 9. I think 8 might be harsh. So I'm going to give both of these 9 points in second place, because they both have, for me, fit and comfort issues related to different things, but they both have problems that do need fixing. Well, this is a bit weird and Inception-esque. I'm sat here, chilling out, just eating a bowl of raspberries, and it turns out there's no ending to my video. This is the editing screen right here. And the winner is, apparently, I didn't know. So I'm going to record this now and tell you. After some quick maths, the Vision takes the victory very, very narrowly, and that is my personal preference of the boots, although the other two do offer something in different areas. The Predator with that demon skin, different to anything else on the market, truly innovative, and the Tekela really does offer fantastic lockdown and responsiveness from a laceless boot, even if I don't like that super stiff upper. Something there for everyone. Let me know what you think and what you would have chosen by putting it down in the comments. Of course, remember to like this video and get subscribed to the channel. I have a review coming soon. Hold on, wait there. Yes, brand new Nike Flight Ball. Don't you just love ad hoc outros? So this is going to be coming to the channel soon. Get subscribed to pick that up, and we will see you very, very soon.